Fantastic. All right, so I'd really like to welcome you all back to the program, the second part of our program. So wonderful to see your faces, and if not your face, at least your name upon a black background. So really appreciating you coming back again. And so as I said last night, my name is Andrea Wynn, and this time I get to be the host, and I'll be interviewing Arlene Anisman today. So I'm really excited about that, and she's going to be talking to us about an exciting opportunity for healing, for making an ethical new stream of income, and about how she's really helping the world, and how you can too. So as we're beginning, just like to help bring some focus for us being here together. So I'd like to invite you to turn off any other phones that you may have around, shut down your email, turn off Skype and any other kinds of connections, anything that might distract you from being fully present here together. I'm going to do the same thing. Just keeping an eye out for emails, and I'm now shutting down my email. So as we are beginning, I'd also like to ask you to mute yourself. Again, just helps to have just a cleaner sound space for the program. And then when you're going to be speaking, like we're going to have a Q&A section, when you're speaking, you can unmute yourself again. So just ask you all to mute yourself now by pressing the microphone icon in the bottom left of your screen. And I see that Aldana already shifted away, and perhaps...
I'm getting my phone to turn it off.
Oh, excellent. Fantastic. Okay. So also inviting you to have something there to write, to take notes on. So you may be wanting to jot down something during the program that speaks strongly to you. So yeah, just invitation to have something to take notes on and with. So what we're going to be doing, similar to the format yesterday evening. So I'm going to be interviewing Arlene about her amazing life with Young Living. And Arlene will share about a special opportunity to connect with her one-on-one. And then we will have a Q&A discussion where you all will have an opportunity to access Arlene with all of her kindness, her goodness, and her expertise. So it's a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to ask whatever pops up in your mind as we engage this journey of exploration together this evening. So I'd like to more formally introduce Arlene to all of you. I've known Arlene Anisman for just around 15 years, as she said last night. And I met her when we were both colleagues in Toronto, actually psychotherapy colleagues. So it was back in the period of time when I was practicing psychotherapy. And at that time, she introduced me to Young Living Oils. And that is bringing all of us together today for this gathering. So it was a very fortunate connection that happened at that time. Arlene is a registered psychotherapist in the province of Ontario and has been in private psychotherapy practice for over 40 years. She also is excited to be a Young Living consultant for the past 23 years. So we've got a lot of expertise here with us this evening. She's excited to be a Young Living consultant, and she's going to be sharing about that. She sees purpose in being of help to others. She is passionate about empowering people to live their lives with integrity, wellness, purpose, and abundance. Her focus is helping people to feel happy and healthy, to live a toxin-free lifestyle with excellent self-care, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And she really brings a foundation to all of that, being in good relation to yourself, in relation to others, and in relation to the community and the world that we live in. Arlene is all about changing the world for the better on an individual and global basis, which she says is not too big a goal for any of us to have a part in. So welcome and thank you so much for being with us this evening, Arlene.
Thank you for that lovely, warm introduction, Andrea.
You're welcome. Okay, so just welcoming those who are continuing to join us. And so if, with your permission, Arlene, I would like to step into actually interviewing you at this point. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay, so something that I do not know myself and I'm really interested to know is, how did you first get involved with using Young Living? I mean, that was a long time ago. I understand it was near to the beginning of the company. How did you first get involved with Young Living?
Well, it started because going back even further, my older daughter is 35, and when she was 2 years old, I started to get headaches, and they were daily, constant headaches, mild to migraine. And my medical doctor was unable to be of help to me. And so I started looking for other options. I started eliminating foods, I started using herbs, and the headaches started to get better. But it wasn't until 23 years ago, when my daughter was about 12, that I was introduced to Young Living, and all of a sudden, like a miracle, the headaches were gone. And so that was my first introduction to Young Living essential oils. And at the same time as that happened, my mother passed away. And so I also was introduced to the oils to support me during the grief I was experiencing. And I found that to be just so invaluable. And I was a little skeptical about using essential oils because I've always been very sensitive to scents. I now realize it's to chemical scents, to perfumes, to cleaning products, dry cleaning fluids, paints, soaps, shampoos, you name it. And all of a sudden with Young Living, I had no negative response. I did not feel sick, quite the contrary. They took away my headaches, these oils, and they helped me, support me, almost like feeling a big hug during that time after my mother passed away. So that was my introduction 23 years ago, using them personally for my own self-care and wellness.
Well, it's a really powerful story, and I can understand in that kind of context how you would grow to trust the products, the essential oils, so deeply, dealing with such tender things, especially the grief after your mother passing away, makes a lot of sense. I'm wondering if you could, maybe for those that don't know, if you could maybe explain what an essential oil is.
Sure. Essential oils are the life essence of the plant. They're the liquid that flows in all parts of the plant, the leaves, the stems, the roots, the flowers, the bark, the seeds. And that essence is what protects the plant against all sorts of invaders. And it is distilled through a steam distillation process and cold pressed. In the case of citrus, it comes from the rind and it's cold pressed, and then passed through this process where you can extract the essential oil from floating on the water. And that's basically what the essential oil is. It supports our system similarly to how it supports a plant system. Some of Young Living's essential oils have even been recognized by our own Health Canada for certain particular medical conditions.
Wow. Okay.
I guess I also want to say they're volatile aromatic liquids. So I want to say they're different from fatty oils in that if you leave the bottle open on an essential oil, by volatile, I mean it will evaporate into the air. And if you rub it on your skin, it will be absorbed into your skin. And it's not a moisturizer like fatty oils, you know, like olive oil or flaxseed oil. It doesn't leave your skin greasy, and except for one or two, it's actually not going to moisturize your skin either. It's going to be absorbed into your body. And because it can be used topically, it can be used through inhalation.
Mm.
And with some specific oils, they can be used as food flavorings as well.
Wow. Amazing.
Multifunctional.
I'm seeing bigger and bigger world with the oils. Okay. So here's another question for you. Why did you decide to develop a Young Living business as an additional income stream? How did that come about?
Well, it's interesting. First, I thought that I wanted to get my products for free. So I thought, well, I'll just, you know, introduce and share these essential oils and essential oil enhanced products, because Young Living is a lifestyle company. The oils are in all sorts of other personal care products, supplements, cleaning products, toothpaste, hair products, everything, baby products, kids products, all sorts of different products for a toxin-free lifestyle. So I thought, well, if I can share them with a few people, it can cover my monthly expense and I'll get them for free. But then what happened was about 12 or 13 years ago, I had a crisis in my life where my ex-husband left, and basically with all the resources. And so here I was left after I took a little time to cursing myself and calling myself stupid for not seeing that happening. I decided I had to act to earn enough money to support my daughters and myself, and to make sure that I could replenish all my savings for the future and have an impact in the world, because I think that money can help you have an impact in the world. So I looked at the model of Young Living, the network marketing model, and it appealed to me. It appealed to what I think of as my feminist roots, because what it was about was, it reminded me that if I focus on myself first and take care of myself financially, I can then also mentor other people and teach them how to take care of themselves. And that can be an empowering experience. And so what this means in practical terms is that with the network marketing model, it's based, there's no ceiling in terms of how much you can earn. It's based on how much work you're willing to do. I could, in theory, earn more than the person who introduced me to the products, and someone I introduce and mentor can earn more than me. It's all based on how much you work. And so you control your income in that way. And I like that model because I think it's very empowering, you know, to allow me to then earn more money. And I guess the other thing that I liked about it was that, again, from my feminist roots, in my psychotherapy practice, I like to be available to as many people as possible. I don't like money to be a barrier, but we all have to earn a living. And so there is a fee for service. So because of the income that I now earn with Young Living, provides me with the opportunity to slide my fee with a number of psychotherapy clients who, and allow them to have a more equitable choice based on. So for me, it's empowering on all these different levels. And when I saw it that way, and I saw the integrity that is there within that model of network marketing, I think it's a very honest way to make a living, but also within my choices with Young Living. So that was how I came to do it as a business.
I'm kind of struck, you know, like what it is that you shared, you know, of what it allows you to do. I'm imagining, I don't know, maybe somebody else will say, you know, making a larger income would allow them to buy more stuff, you know, buy a big boat or something. I guess I'm just really struck by what you say is it allows me to offer a sliding scale rate to psychotherapy clients. Anyway, I'm really moved by what earning a greater income has meant for you. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. It does allow me to buy more. I mean, if I, but that's not been my focus with this.
All right. Okay. So why did you choose Young Living? What is it that you love about Young Living that led you to choose this company over so many others that are out there?
And there are many out there, many network marketing companies. I chose Young Living because of what I saw as the level of integrity, and because it all started with one man's dream. The man was Gary Young. He and his wife Mary started this company, but it was because of his dream to be of service to people. And in his mind, it was a promise he made to his God that if he were able to walk again, he would always serve all of the people on the planet. And so every product that he developed was developed with a purpose in mind. He never developed a product with the goal of making a profit. That was secondary. In a way, that's why Young Living started off very slowly, because his goal was always to have a purpose for the product. And an example that stands out for me is that Young Living, one of their most popular oils is a blend called Valor, which is about increasing self-esteem and courage in our lives. Valor has many different ingredients in it. One of them is black spruce. And Young Living has a proprietary process, they call it seed to seal, that every step of the way, from the seed to the harvesting to cultivating on organic land, how they harvest and how they test. So he was getting and they have their own farms. That's what makes them different. And so he was getting the black spruce from a cooperative farm that worked with him. And when he tested it, he said to us that there was just a slight variation off from what he wanted. And he knew how much people depended on this blend, how it enriched their lives. So he was asking himself, well, maybe I could overlook this small little bit so people would have Valor. And then he decided he couldn't do that because he would be compromising the whole purpose of that blend and the whole purpose of Young Living, to be of service in this completely toxin-free way. And so he sent that oil back, and we were without that blend Valor for 18 months while he searched for another farm. And he ultimately found a farm in northern BC, right under the Northern Lights it grows. It's called the Northern Lights Farm. And it's with enormous black spruce trees. It's one of the farms I've been to. And then he had to set up that farm, and he had to set up a distiller because it's his own patented distiller, and he had to negotiate with the government to get the land and what that involved. So we were without Valor for 18 months. And when he came back with a big smile on his face, he said, we'll never be without Valor again because look at all these trees, and so to me, that spoke to the level of integrity about these products have to meet a certain standard in order to be able to fulfill that promise of a purpose, Plus, the other thing about Young Living is that they really take their stewardship seriously about protecting the land. So plants are replenished. Although in the Northern Lights Farm, apparently when he went to replant, the government asked him not to replant. They said that the black spruce grows like a weed, and if he wanted more, he could take it off the neighbors' farms. He got permission that it was interfering with their crops. So for a little while, not to replant it because it was growing so fast, they didn't need any more. But always to replant, always to take care of the earth, make sure it stays organic. Always to take care of your staff. So excellent working conditions, always well paid, good facilities for people to work under, and always to focus on giving back to the earth, keeping the earth organic. The company is geared to go completely green within 5 years. And further to that, what Young Living did was, he said, we're doing so well, we're making so much money. He always wanted to make a difference in underserved communities. And so he set up a foundation called the D. Gary Young Living Foundation that serves underserved communities. And Young Living pays 100% of the administrative costs. So anything that's donated, they donate to it as well. That goes straight to the project. And with that, he went and he helped build a village in Nepal during the earthquakes a couple of years ago. I give up some money to an organization they support called Hope for Justice that it wants to end modern day slavery, and particularly rescues people of all ages from sexual slavery. So that's the kind of company that I want to be affiliated with. One that is empowered to give back to the world, one that puts their money where their mouth is, and that makes a difference to me. Plus, the other thing is that the sensitivity that I mentioned earlier, Young Living is the only company whose essential oils I don't get sick from, so I'm fine with them. They keep, and quite the opposite, they keep me healthy. And I've come to learn how to use them because we all have to live in the world, and lots of people are still using what I think of as, in quotes, unhealthy scents. Even dry cleaning. I go to a gathering and people's clothes have been dry cleaned, and that can make me sick. So I use the oils so that I don't get sick when I'm out in public, whether it's on the subway or at a gathering, personally at a gathering or at a professional gathering. I use them that way too. So because of the global sense of this company, as well as personally what they do for me, it seems to me they match the level of integrity that is really important to me with this kind of work.
Well, that was a really rich answer. Thank you. Really, thank you. Okay, so you mentioned before that you have a team. So I'm guessing that this is more than just sort of like running a solo, like small business kind of thing. I'm getting a sense that there's community. That's a community effort. So I'm wondering if you could maybe share a bit about your team, the kinds of people that you've attracted to your team, that, if somebody were to, want to explore this with you, could you give them a sense of sort of, what is the community that they might be stepping into?
Well, I find that the people that are drawn to me and that I am drawn to are people that come from a heart-centered approach. And so what I mean by that is people that want to be of service and of help to other people. And because I think this is what Young Living is all about, it matches for me to have people that have that kind of focus. That's not to say that everybody in the company, some people join this company because they want to earn a lot of money, and that's fine. Everyone's got their own reasons. For me, it's about being of help to other people. And so what I find is that the people that are drawn to work with me are people that are wanting to help either children, adults, animals. I've got someone who's a veterinary student in my team who wants to be a holistic veterinarian and is so keen on using the oils and the Young Living products as a part of that. Who want, and wow. So I find, and I use the oils, as you probably personally know, with my animals right now with my troubled dog. And so I find that what happens is that I share the oils and introduce the possibility of mentoring. And then these people then go on and share the oils and mentor people. And I can come in and help. And they mentor other people. And it just seems like all of the people that are drawn to my team have been people that are focused on helping other people. And so it's been a very lovely, warm community. What has been another benefit of it, though, is that Young Living, as they grow, they go around to communities and they support by providing events sponsored by the corporate staff. Mm-hmm. And so I meet people that are not on my team, but are building their own teams. And there's also a very much like beyond, I mean, I would say collegial, but it's more like a family that I meet all sorts of lovely people that are not connected to me also that are doing this same sort of mission in the world to be of help to other people, and that the vehicle for them has become Young Living and helping people live a toxin-free, healthy life. And so I find that's the people that are on my team. And what becomes very positive is that, you know, some of these people, as I said, that I've introduced to the oils earn more money than me. Some of them have won trips, you know, because they're working it more than me. And all of them have done this by helping other people. Some share in their church, some share in their schools, some share in you know, their families. And it's all about teaching other people how to use these products to enhance their lives. And that's, to me, what the focus is all about here. Although I think that that's the way that anybody who empowers another person will do it. How is this going to enhance your life so that you can share it with other people? It's that kind of experience. Did that answer your question about?
Yeah, I think that answers very well the kind of people on your team, and it also makes sense to me the way that you've described Gary Young, and the kind of sounds like he made this promise to God. It all began with that, and this level of commitment and integrity that he brings. I'm imagining that that would attract certain kind of people to even want to work with this company. So that makes a lot of sense. And I know that you've mentioned about that you look to Young Living to be able to support yourself and your daughters when things broke down with your ex-husband, and that you've mentioned that you have people on your team that are making more money than you. And I guess I'm just wondering, I don't mean to put you on the spot. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But I'm just wondering if you'd be open to sharing generally what kind of income you are making with Young Living.
Sure. Okay. And it's okay to put me on the spot. I could always say no. But I make a 6-figure income as a result of working with Young Living. And
That's incredible.
I say that with great pride because I feel like that's so empowering to be of help in the world, you know? And you know, and it reminds me of a quote from one of the founders of Young Living, who's now the CEO, Mary Young, that she said a number of years ago that always stayed with me. And it was, money in the hands of good people can do enormous good in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that, you know, because so many people have issues around earning money, to me, that was the perspective that I found to be so empowering. Money in the hands of good people can do enormous good in the world, you know, and that's the way I see this, as a vehicle to make change in the world, you know, that we are so empowered in terms of how we use our money.
Well, I'm really blown away with how you have walked your journey with Young Living and created such an empowering income. And I can see that the people on your team, they must be very lucky to have you in your leadership, and especially in your mentoring, because as you said, it seems like so many people in our world have a lot of fear around making money. It can be a real challenge. So I'm just envisioning that it's a real special gift to be able to work with you and to be able to receive your mentoring with this view that you have developed around making an ethical income that's all about serving and helping this world. So just really want to express my appreciation for your sharing your approach with us this evening. And um, uh, we've, yeah, I think just timing wise, it would be good at this point to move from the interview part this evening to you being able to share what it is that, that you have to offer people here in the program or who are listening to this in the coming days. So what I understand is that you are offering 3 one-hour one-on-one meetings for people who are interested in exploring what it could be like for them to build a young living business with your mentoring. And I'm wondering if you could tell us a bit about what it is that you are offering.
Sure. Thank you, Andrea. Just as you said, I'm going to be offering 3 one-on-one, 1-hour meetings. And I'm going to offer them either by phone or by Skype as a starting point to discuss what it would look like to have a young living business, and particularly to have a young living business as an empowerment tool for yourself and in order to help others too. So I see this as an opportunity, this call, to delve deeper into the concrete actions that are involved here. And I wanted to say I welcome those of you on this call and anyone who hears this after who is touched by what we've discussed tonight or by anything I've said. If you're interested in this opportunity, I think of it as a valuable opportunity, to please email me. And my email is arlene@web.net. So it's ARLENE@WEB.net. Simple little email. And I will then email you back with a few questions that I'd like you to answer to apply for one of these positions. And I would email you back within a couple of, I would email you back within 24 hours of getting your email. Mm-hmm. And then I will make my decision within a couple of days from hearing from you.
Excellent. I'm imagining that people might want to know if there's an expectation that if they have one of these one-on-one meetings with you, that means that they are definitely going to join your team and build a young living business. Do you have an expectation about these meetings leading to a specific place?
Not in those terms. I see these meetings as a time to explore what would be involved. And I mean, when I say in concrete actions, I think that's the time when someone I would be giving you more information. You could ask me questions based on that information, and then you could explore if this is the right fit for you.
Okay.
So I think that I don't have any other expectation about that. What I want to do is share this opportunity with someone who thinks that they would be interested, in expanding their income in this ethical way.
Okay. All right. Well, I would like to open our gathering up for question and answer at this point. Arlene has, she's shared a lot of interesting information about her journey, about Young Living essential oils and what they are, about Young Living, the company. And also, I really like how she's, sort of digging in and demystifying a different relationship with wealth. And then, of course, she's just also given what may be a very intriguing offer for some people on the call. So at this point, we'll open it up for question and answer. This is an opportunity for you to really be able to engage Arlene, ask her whatever is on your mind, and basically like enrich what it is that we are building here. I mean, we've created a little community here this evening on this call, and so it really includes every single person who's here. So I'm really welcoming you to bring in your curiosity, your wisdom, and to engage what Arlene has been putting out here this evening. So So the way to come on and ask a question or to share something is just to unmute yourself. Again, by clicking the little microphone symbol, should be in the lower left corner of your screen. And we really welcome your engagement. And no question is too silly.
And questions about anything relating to Young Living, the business opportunity, the company, the product, anything.
I'll ask some things. Hi, Arlene. I've used Young Living oils and products for myself for a number of years, and I'm at the stage where I'm looking at the possibility of looking at it as a business. What I'm challenged with is when I have approached a number of people, people have had bad MLM experiences. And as soon as they know that this is multi-level marketing, they back away. So what do you suggest in regards to that? Because I've approached a number of people that I thought would be interested in the product for a number of reasons, and this is what I've run into.
So thank you for that question. That's a really important question because it happens to all of us. And I want to first say that Aldona is a part of my team. She is one of the wonderful members who's been introduced. She's probably 5 or 6 members down from me. What I do is I first ask them what they've heard. And then I like to offer resources. So for example, I have saved on my computer this little video about what is network marketing, what is a multi-level marketing company, differentiating it from other ways of working in the world. And sometimes I like to ask people if they're interested in reading something about it. So I might offer there's a couple of people who have gone out of the network marketing company business and are now teaching network marketing as a business. And sometimes I will offer one of their books or an excerpt from one of their books. But mostly what I like to do is to listen to what the challenges that they've had and speak to that as best I can. And sometimes that involves talking about Gary Young and the level of integrity with the company and why he chose the vehicle of network marketing rather than selling directly in stores like other companies have chosen to do. And so it would vary depending on that, but I would mostly focus on what it is that they've heard so that I could speak to that. Because otherwise I'm just talking in ways they may not hear. But I would want to know specifically what it is they heard. You know, sometimes people can't get beyond that, but sometimes when we can address what it is they've heard in an appropriate way, then they're able to listen to more about what's going on. Is there any specific example, Aldona?
Yes, I approached this couple that seemed very interested in complementary lifestyles and healthy lifestyles. And they said that they would not be interested in it because of the multi-level marketing, that they had actually been involved with a multi-level marketing company a number of years ago, and it wasn't a positive experience. So it was not just the concept, but it was their personal experience with this other company.
So then I would say, what was the experience? Because Young Living is also different in that there's no, I mean, I like to introduce the products to people as a way to empower them personally to use them, whether they develop a business or not, but as a way to be of help personally. So, and with that in mind, sometimes some companies have a compulsory, you have to buy something every month. Young Living doesn't, you know, some people, so there are all sorts of, I would want to know what was the unpleasant experience. Would they be willing to talk about it? With a view towards seeing if that would be the same with Young Living, because if it would be the same, then there's no way. But if it was, you know, if they thought these products could lead to them having a healthier lifestyle, then maybe we could talk about it from that perspective and look at what interfered and would that interfere with this company.
Okay, that's a great idea. And the other one is just that general statement that people have made. Oh, MLMs, only the people at the top make money. If you're down below, you're not going to make any money.
That's the old myth about it, you know.
Right.
And so that's the little video I have speaks to that directly. But I'm also a clear example of that being not the case, because I have 2 people that I know of that are in my team. One is my second level and one is my third level. Your direct uplines who make more money than I do. And so I'm above them and I make less. And so the other thing about that is that I would be willing, and you could use me as an example, and you could say, well, I have an upline, you know, I don't know if I'm 5 or 6 levels up above you, and I have an upline 3 people above me who makes more than her. And the other thing is, I would also want to say to people is, would you like to see how the compensation plan works so that you can understand that that's not the case in this? But certainly, if somebody is interested in working this business, then the other thing is to show them the income disclosure statement, because the majority of people do. I mean, you know, Young Living has, you know, over 1 million members. The majority of those people do not make a lot, you know, as much money, but it's a small percentage. And it's important people know that. It's based on how much you work. If you want to work a couple of hours a week, you can still make a good income at it. If you want to work more than that, you'll make more money. But it's more about teaching people to understand, you know. And I could say, you know, I've heard that too. When I first started doing this work, that was a rumor that I heard, and it made me wonder, because how was I ever going to earn an income when there were all these people that would be earning more than me? So, but what I was happy to see was that when I looked at the way the income is paid out, it's got nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, the person that introduced me to Young Living was introduced to Young Living herself by someone in Vancouver who never ever introduced another person. She just introduced this one person to Young Living. So she doesn't make very much money at all, but, you know, because she doesn't really do the work of Young Living. She doesn't do that work. But so she is above me and she's making a lot less than me, you know. So there are examples that, you know, that can be given. And certainly those are intangible examples. But I'm here and you're in Toronto and I'm in Toronto. If anybody ever wanted to meet me, I'm available in that way too, to tell people and to explain it. But I think it's about giving people information so that rumors are taken apart in the sense of, well, this part of it is false and this part of it might be true, but just as a whole, it's not true. And as a matter of fact, it's now become a way of developing a business that is taught at well-recognized school. It's taught at Harvard, network marketing. They call it, I mean, you can call it multi-level marketing or network marketing. I think when they teach it, they call it network marketing. But so it is about one of the first network marketing companies got a reputation for doing a lot of activities that were later seen to be not as ethical as one would wish for in terms of wanting to make sales. The industry has changed. That was in the 40s and the 50s, maybe in the 60s. And what's important from my perspective is for people to understand the reality now. And the reality now is that it is a very ethical way to make a good income and to use that income in really positive ways in the world to help make change in the world.
Yeah, I really like that perspective that you gave around that, you know, around using money to make a positive change. That's really helpful. So thanks. I'll try these people again.
Well, check it out, and if I can be of help, let me know.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Wonder if anybody else has a question that they'd like to ask Arlene while we have her here this evening. I really like the question that you brought up, Aldana. I think it's so important. I've heard people say that sort of thing before. I even hear people, you mention that something's network marketing. They say, oh, that's a pyramid scheme. Like there's so much misinformation. And I just find it very similar to the area that I've been working in around sexualized violence. It's like people, like they sort of go into this triggered state where they're not even thinking clearly and making completely wrong connections about things and really not understanding it. And I really appreciate the way that Arlene speaks because she's calm. She, just is willing to get in there and talk about what's happening. And I think you're so approachable, Arlene, that I can imagine that really diffuses that kind of trigger reaction that can happen, around even talking about something like a multi-level marketing company. So I don't know if you want to say anything about that, Arlene, about just relating with the energy that happens, that sort of emotional energy that happens.
Well, I think I could say a little. I think there is a knee-jerk response for some people, that whole thing about it's a pyramid scheme. And my first response is that pyramids are illegal, and so this company wouldn't be thriving in Canada, let alone anywhere else, if it was operating illegally. And then I like to show people this little animated 5-minute video I have where this little guy disperses what really is a pyramid and what isn't. And he puts it in the perspective of if you have a large, say a large corporation or a large department store, the person at the top is always going to be making more money than the people below. And you go up the scheme, you start with, say, a salesperson, and then that salesperson supervisor makes more, and then that manager makes more until you get to the top of the CEO who makes more. And they describe that as the pyramid because there are people that are working this kind of company that are making more than the corporate staff easily, Sometimes with Young Living, I've seen corporate staff leave so they can develop their own Young Living business because it's required. If you work for the company, you do not have a business in the company this way. But yeah, so I like to dispel the untruths without fighting, without taking it on as like an adversary. But more so like, I'd like to give you the information, and then to lighten it up, the fact that there have been some of these animated little videos made that explain it even better than me in a lighthearted way, so that we can use these tools. And I'm certainly one for not reinventing the wheel. I like to be aware of what tools there are out there and to share them around.
So I have a question. Where do you get those videos?
Well, I can send anyone that little one, but usually
Okay.
what I do is if you don't have me to send it to you, just Google it, or do a search, whatever search engine you use, and put in there network marketing pyramid scheme deal, and it comes. That's how I found it. And it'll come up.
Okay.
So welcoming anybody else. We have just a few more minutes here with Arlene. So if you would like to ask anything that's on your mind, just warmly welcoming you to step into the circle before we close things for the evening.
Hey, it's Ben. I've got a quick question.
Okay, hi Ben.
Yeah, thank you for the information too. It's been interesting. My question is the essential oils. Do you how do you administer them? Do you drink them? Do you put them on your body? Do you use a diffuser? Could you say more about that?
Absolutely. I'm sorry that I didn't say more earlier. Thank you for asking. So basically there's many ways, within three main ways to use it. So the first way I talk about is you use them aromatically, because it is aromatherapy. And when you use them to inhale them, you can do it in any number of ways. You can take the lid off the bottle and just put the bottle under your nose and inhale that way. You can take the bottle and take a drop in the palm of your hand, rub your palms together and cup them over your nose and inhale that way. You can also inhale by putting it in a diffuser. And when you use a diffuser, what you want to make sure of is that you're using a cold air diffuser, because the only thing that can damage the potency of essential oils is heat, extreme heat. But for example, people that have those little diffusers, like a little cup that sits over a candle or a light bulb, that's going to damage some of the constituents in the essential oil. So you'll get the aroma, but you won't get all of the healing properties. So you want to make sure it's a cold air diffuser. Whether you're diffusing with water or without water, doesn't matter, as long as it's a cold air diffuser. The other way, because heat is the only thing that damages the potency, if you want to, some people when they're congested want to inhale steam. And so if you want to use an essential oil with steam, the way you would do it is you would never pour boiling water over an essential oil. That heat would damage the chemical constituents potentially. But what you would do is you would pour boiling hot water into a bowl and let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes. That's all it takes, that little bit of cooling. Then add a couple of drops of the essential oil, or how many drops you want, into that bowl. And then you could take a towel and put it over your head and inhale the steam with the essential oil. Just letting that water sit for 2 to 3 minutes, it will cool enough that it will no longer damage the properties of the essential oils. The second way, so those are all the different inhalation techniques I think of. The second way you can use an essential oil is topically. And topically is just like it sounds. You can rub it on your skin. So with the appropriate essential oil, you can rub it on a sore muscle. You can also rub it on the bottom of your feet, where you have all the different reflexology points for every organ system in the body. So if you rub it on the bottom of your feet, if the bottom of my hand is the bottom of your feet, you just be rubbing it in like that. So because essential oils are volatile, it will be absorbed into your skin and it will leave your skin dry. And then it will go up into your body through those nerve endings of all the organ systems in your body. And so, and so for example, you could rub it on your stomach if you had a stomach upset and you were using an oil that was approved for that. You could rub it on a sore muscle before or after exercising with an oil for that. The third way, and Young Living has a particular line of oils that are called the Plus line that have been approved for ingestion. And so they're called by Health Canada food flavorings. And so with those, I might put a drop of lemon plus oil into my cup of water and drink it. Now, oil and water don't mix, so it is going to float on the water, but when you drink it, it seems to blend in. But having said that, I want to add one more use of essential oils. You know, sometimes we like to add, or I like to add essential oils to a bath that might be calming or it might be for energizing me. I can pick whichever oil I want because water actually makes an essential oil stronger. You would never just drop the oil into the bath because it could then be too intense for those sensitive areas of our bodies that sit in the water. And so what you would do is you need to have something that acts as an emulsifier. And I like to use sea salt. You could use any salt. You could use Epsom salt. You could use any table salt. And I would take a teaspoon of salt and add how many drops of oil into that sea salt and mix it into the salt. And then I'd put the salt under the running water or just into the bath water and mix it all in. The salt acts like an emulsifier, so the oil would not be floating on the water. And then when you get into the bath, it will be evenly dispersed and it will not, there's no risk then that it will irritate any sensitive areas of our bodies. So those are the three ways that I suggest. And I would show anybody interested, I would show you in person with my oils how to do that. Inhaling aromatically, rubbing it topically, or with some of the oils actually ingesting them. Does that answer your question, Ben, or would you like more detail?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I really appreciate you asking too, Ben. I picked up some new tips there that I'm excited to try. I'm being mindful of the time as the facilitator this evening, and I see that we are nearly at the end of our time. So we're going to wrap up the discussion at this point. And you all have Arlene's email address. Just to say again that she has made this offer of the 3 1-hour exploration meetings with people who are interested in exploring Young Living as an income, a way of making a side income. So Arlene, you have been very, very generous with us this evening. I'd really like to thank you for speaking with us, sharing from your own personal experience, and also sharing your wisdom that you have obviously really developed around making this really beautiful and meaningful income, sharing Young Living essential oils with people. So thank you so much, Arlene, for sharing with us this evening.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Andrea, for how you've generously hosted. And thank you, everybody, for being here and listening and asking questions, those of you that did, but especially just for being here and listening. I've appreciated each and every one of you being here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you.
You're welcome.
So I also would like to echo Arlene's thanks. And so we'll be sending out another follow-up email this evening with information, again, for how you can contact Arlene if you'd like to have a follow-up conversation with her. And I will call this gathering closed, and wishing you all a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.